Anime and manga. They're both so similar, yet also worlds apart from each other. Both are expressed in different mediums with their own advantages. Is anime better or manga better? I aim to answer this big question in today's video. This is important for most of us people in the world because, believe it or not, most people actually don't have all the time in the world to do both. So what usually ends up happening is people like me focus on either anime or manga and stick to one. I heavily watch anime and read manga a little here and there, so if you're a manga reader, just take this as a perspective from the other side of the spectrum and with a grain of salt. And if you're an anime watcher, use this to justify yourself for only watching anime, because I know I want to feel like I'm not missing out on too much when I only watch anime, and I would have loved for someone to make me feel justified and not all the people on Reddit or online who are saying stuff like, oh, manga is source material, so you'll never get the full experience. Or anime is only an adaptation, so it's cutting things out and changing the plot, so you don't even know the real story. And other stuff that just makes me feel so pressured for not reading that much manga. Without further ado, I, Mezakku, the coolest male VTuber, will be talking now. Let's start with manga. From the perspective of someone who got into this otaku culture through anime, manga to me really feels like an extension of the story that we watched animated. It is for the people who really like the show that just never got a next season or never got a second season and just want to see a continuation of the story. Since people like me who never knew about manga before anime, we don't see anime as an adaptation, but rather its own separate creation apart from the manga source material. Manga readers, on the other hand, have a completely different view from anime viewers. They usually end up reading lots of manga, and when there's an anime adaptation of a manga they really liked, they would want to go and watch the anime to try it out. However, subconsciously, they won't be watching the anime as an anime or a show, but rather an adaptation of something they already liked. So any deviation, unless done really well, would just be seen as bad, even if the deviation makes sense, if you consider the anime as its own story. Now, prepare for the other side of this discussion, which, if you pay attention, sounds really familiar. Anime to an anime viewer now isn't an adaptation, but a show that he or she watches as they would any other show. Viewers don't have a source material they constantly compare the show to, so we can only judge a show by what it shows to us. This is why the argument that the manga did this or that doesn't hold up, because it never happened in the anime, and if it didn't happen in the anime and the viewer didn't read the manga, it might as well have never happened to them. This is the last comparison. Anime to a manga reader is an adaptation, not really a show to them. I don't mean this in a negative way. I'm just pointing out this can lead to different views on a show due to biases the viewer may have before even watching the show. Listen to this. 2 people watched the Harry Potter movies, and of the 2 of them, one of them actually read all the books. The person who read the source material thinks that the movies could have been better and more faithful to the source material, so he rates the movies lower than the person who never read the books. I hope this kind of makes a little more sense to you, and I'm not going to make you wait much longer, so here is my final answer to the question that I posed at the very beginning. Is anime better or manga better? A lot of people may dislike this answer, and you have every reason to. But if you pay attention to all 4 scenarios that I just said earlier, then it should be a little more clear which one is slightly better, at least in my opinion. Anime to a viewer is a show or story that they enjoy. Anime to a reader is an adaptation and not a show to them. Manga to a viewer is an extension to a story they loved or enjoyed. Manga to a reader is the norm. It is what they like to read and indulge in. The anime viewer is usually happy in both scenarios, whereas the manga reader can be disappointed or unhappy with the anime adaptation, which means, on average, there will be more satisfaction correlated with being a mostly anime-only viewer. Not only does this work out logically, personally, when I watch anime and there's a story I really want to see the end of, I would go and read the manga too, and it's just a really great experience. For example, when I first started watching anime, I really liked Nisekoi, but the show just ended abruptly, and I really wanted to see the ending, so that led me to reading the manga, which I thoroughly enjoyed because of me already liking the show. But if I read a manga that was pretty good, and the anime was good too, the deviation of the anime from the manga would really bother me and reduce my enjoyment of both slightly. I think a lot of people will be unhappy at this point in the video, but to the only anime viewers, I at least hope you feel better now about not reading manga, or just a little manga. you will be more satisfied and content with anime. I can guarantee you. In manga readers, just because you aren't satisfied or content with the anime adaptations, that doesn't mean you're bad. I don't mean that at all. Just keep enjoying the manga you like and try your best to watch anime without a bias. And last but not least, to the people who watch my channel, thank you, and I hope you are as satisfied as satisfaction allows you to be. See you soon as I start uploading almost daily. Like, subscribe, bye! It's so late in the night, my mind is